Radio Fresno, where inspiration happens 24 hours a day. Believe Radio presents the Central Valley Exchange, hosted by Tiffany Binion-Mangum. Here's our host, Tiffany Binion-Mangum.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Central Valley Exchange. This is our premiere show here at Believe Radio. I am your host, Tiffany Binion-Mangum. The Central Valley Exchange is a conversation platform where we center dignity for the social, economic, political, and educational empowerment of communities of color. And I am glad that you are here today. Welcome here as my guest for this very first episode, this inaugural episode, the Allysun Walker, the CEO of the Southwest Fresno Development Corporation. Welcome.
Thank you, Tiffany. Glad to be here.
I'm privileged to have you here, just truth be told. And today's conversation, we really are going to talk about the renaissance, the revival of Southwest Fresno. But could you first tell us a little bit about the mission and priorities of the Southwest Fresno Development Corporation?
Yes, happy to do that. The Southwest Fresno Development Corporation's mission is to build community wealth and power through ownership, mostly of homes and small businesses. And our strategic focus really is to deliver market-driven solutions for community restoration. We want people to be able to participate in the economy in a different kind of way as owners.
Awesome. Ownership. I heard somebody say ownership is power.
Yes, it is.
And you are preparing, you said small businesses, families,
Yes.
churches, organizations, individuals even.
Absolutely.
For ownership in the home ownership realm as well as small business.
Correct.
So talk just a little bit about your efforts really in small business, if you could.
We have, we are housed at the West Side Church. And there is a commercial kitchen there. So our goal is to start off with a very small effort. We're going to launch something called the Community Kitchen Ventures. And we want to be able to serve food entrepreneurs, food truck entrepreneurs, caterers, ghost kitchen folks, etc., who need large spaces in which to grow their business. So we're going to offer that. We're also going to offer some classes and those kinds of things because there's no commercial kitchen in Southwest Fresno that we're aware of. There are a couple up here in the north. But there isn't one in the south, so we want to be able to offer that service to some of our emerging food entrepreneurs. Very excited about that.
Wonderful. Well, in addition to providing all of the resources that you have through this particular program, I also want to touch on home ownership in just a second. But can you talk a little bit about how oftentimes we work in silos and rarely do we realize the true benefits of collective impact? How is Southwest Fresno Development Corporation actualizing partnership in Southwest Fresno?
So, for example, with the Community Kitchen Ventures, both the Black Chamber, Fresno Metro Black Chamber, and the Hispanic Chamber are funding that effort. We also are in communication with State Center Community College District and Fresno City College about doing some instruction for food-related jobs and bringing that to the community as well. As a fairly new nonprofit who's just getting started, and we've been around for a while, but we're really just getting going. We are partnering with West Fresno Family Resource Center. We're partnering with the Fresno Housing Authority, your organization, very thrilled about that. And we're putting on a local conference, as you know, with self-help enterprises. There's a number of different partners there. So trying to just leverage our former relationships and current relationships, and letting people know that that Southwest Fresno does have an advocate, an organization that's advocating for them.
Yeah, awesome. And we need that in Southwest Fresno for us all.
Absolutely.
I wanted to actually, for our listeners and for our viewers, some up and coming community organizations or small neighborhood groups. Why does partnership matter?
Partnership matters because we can't do anything alone, and our issues are really complex, right? These are this community has been overlooked economically.
Indeed.
Years ago was cut off by the construction of the 99 freeway and what was called white flight, not just in this city, but in cities all around the country. And the Southwest area was really cut off from the economic center of downtown. And then as progress marched north, the community really was just forgotten. by the city. So it was a redlined community. So there are major issues that have occurred there. So we want to bring folks together because no one organization can do things alone. We want to make sure we work with the city. We're working with the county. We're working with, the state sanctioned, or we're working with public entities as well to bring more resources and attention to what it is that we're trying to do.
So I'm hearing public, private,
yes, nonprofit,
yes,
absolutely.
All of these partnerships and the unique formula that they kind of create.
Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning philanthropy, because a lot of people are paying attention now to communities like ours and organizations in communities like ours that are Black-led, that are BIPOC-driven, that are community invested, right? And promoting community power. So philanthropy is taking a different kind of look at us. So we want to make sure we're building infrastructure. Yes, post George Floyd, I think people just took a different look at where we were making investments. And for forgotten economies like this one and forgotten communities, people thought, okay, we need to begin to reinvest. And our city has begun to do that. Our state has begun to do that. Our local foundations have begun to do that. So we're just thrilled to be at this time doing the work we're doing.
I am excited about what's coming, and I'm excited about some of the things coming down the pike around home ownership. Let's talk a little bit about home ownership. Okay. What makes home ownership such a valuable thing, especially in Southwest Fresno?
Absolutely. So, Southwest Fresno is such a unique and beautiful community. Right. So there's so much developable land there, first of all. So as Progress in Fresno marched all the way north, they've built pretty much up to the county line. So, and we've got a large population that's growing. So when the city looks at and says, well, wow, where are we going to build? Southwest Fresno and the Southeast also. But Southwest Fresno has a lot of developable land. Let's look there. Okay. So as part of this specific plan, the general plan, all of that, the growth planning for Fresno, Southwest Fresno has been in the eyesights of the city.
Which is good.
Yes, which is good. And home ownership is the fastest way and one of the best ways, most lasting ways of creating wealth. And when we talk about that racial wealth gap, right?
Yes.
Only 1 out of 5, 1 out of 4 Black folks in Fresno own a home. And so when we talk about that racial wealth gap, the acquisition of a house, buying a house, reduces that wealth gap almost immediately. So with a home, you can leverage so much. You get the tax breaks, so many benefits to home ownership, right? The tax breaks, the financial stability, the mental health improvement, the school attendance improvement for kids, right? So, and that's that pride. That's part of our mission, is to restore pride of ownership, or restore community pride. And we can do that through pride of ownership of housing.
Of home ownership.
Yes, a great way to create wealth and bequeath wealth, pass wealth on.
To the next generation.
Absolutely.
And empowering them to realize their dreams.
Absolutely.
And go a little higher.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of new development coming.
Yeah, I love that. Can you talk a little bit about what you're hearing as far as new development, new investment?
Yes. So recently, I guess over the last several years, the city has permitted about 1,000 homes to be built in Southwest Fresno.
Wow.
Yes, which is fantastic. So those are mostly single-family homes. We've got 5 or 6 developers that we're talking to about getting buyers ready for those homes. Okay. So it will be a new community. It'll be welcome to the new Southwest. Like you said, it'll be a bit of a renaissance to bring a high quality single-family home product to this community and to create some new new communities and some new hope, to offer new hope. We believe home ownership is a hopeful thing for this community.
Now that is beautiful. I love what you just said there, hope. Yes. To a community that has really been desperate.
Yes. And overlooked in a lot of ways.
Yes, indeed.
Like Progress marched north in Fresno and marched east.
Yeah.
Right. So this community's kind of been left behind. So, and the city admits that. This is, I'm not talking out of school. The city admits that. So it's time for them to reinvest in this community. It's past time.
I heard 2 things, and I wanted to lean in a little bit on those from you. One was 1,000 homes. That is a tremendous amount of families, investment, infrastructure. Yes. So when you bring homes, what are the other implications of bringing 1,000 families to the community?
I know, right? So it's not going to happen in one day. It's happening over 10 years, right? So that gives us time to plan and to hold the city accountable to the plans that they've put forward. Like, okay, what are we doing? How are we doing it? Are we meeting the needs of community? Is there that piece? But the other thing is we don't want them to just build housing. We want the commercial to follow that, right? So that is going to require infrastructure development. It's going to require roads. It's going to require commercial pads being, So when you look at River Park or you look at other communities, you look at Fig Garden, the infrastructure that was developed really pushed the commercial forward. So developers and builders, and small businesses and large businesses, they're looking for places to locate. So we want to make sure that we have the infrastructure in place for them to locate in Southwest Fresno also.
Indeed.
We've got folks up here in the north saying, I would love to, the Mug, for example, I don't know if I'm able to mention the owner, I just did. They've said we would love to have a coffee shop in Southwest Fresno.
Oh, wonderful.
But where would we put it, right? So, and I don't have an answer, right? So that's what I mean when I say, money is green. People want to locate or develop other sites of businesses in our community,
and grow their own wealth.
That's exactly right. They want to grow their footprint, absolutely. But if we don't have the infrastructure for them to do that, it's very difficult for them to do it. So how do we make it easier? The city and the county, the state, commit funds to help develop that infrastructure so people can take advantage of that.
With all of that investment, I'm when you bring if you bring one family, you're thinking about they're impacted by education.
Yes, absolutely.
Jobs.
Yes.
Commercial, the economic empowerment, purchase. They got everyday needs that they'll have.
Absolutely.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
All of that. I'm thinking on the scale of 1,000 homes brings a tremendous amount of investment.
It does.
But there are some huge implications to that, especially for existing families. I'm going to say a word that we sometimes say is a bad word in terms of existing families who are at a moderate and sometimes low income, and that is gentrification. That causes trauma. That is has been harmful to other communities throughout the country. And especially for our Southwest Fresno residents, I'm very interested and curious. I'm also concerned with such progressive investment and movement happening in Southwest Fresno. Do we know how existing residents are being supported, or do we know how they're being protected or prepared for this type of investment coming into the community?
That's a big role that we want to try to play as Southwest Fresno Development Corp. We've had a couple of meetings asking the community about what they want to see, right? With regard to the housing element, for example, the update of some of the city's planning. People call us all the time, and we often talk about offering our home ownership classes, but then people are saying, well, hopefully I'll be able to buy a home, and others are saying, I'll never be able to buy a home. They're priced too high for me. And so we're saying, look, home ownership isn't for everybody, but we're going to give you all the information we can, give you the down payment assistance instruction, help you qualify for lending, etc. So it is very difficult. We can't control the pricing. That's one of the reasons why we have to promote nonprofit development that the Housing Authority is doing, for example, self-help enterprises, because they will price their product at a level that people can't afford. Gentrification really is just an economic manipulation. It's almost like redlining. And the irony of this community having been one of the hundreds of redline communities in the country where people wouldn't lend or lent at higher rates is now, threatened with gentrification. So it really is just an economic, like I said, manipulation, because gentrification really means that the new products are priced just above where the people who live there can afford. Yes. Exactly. So, but we want complete communities, right? Yeah. We want people of color, of all races, right? All ethnicities, all ages. We want different types of families. That makes a complete community, right? So we want that. We want people of means to be able to, right? Exactly. So, because we want them to be able to patronize the commercials. Yes, absolutely. Commercial development. And we want different, we just want different experiences. So all those, we want everyone to be able to contribute to this new community. Indeed. But gentrification is something that is rolling through Black communities all across this country. And the way that we want to assist with that is to let people know what their rights are. Okay. Want to make sure that people understand that. And if people are calling, they're getting called by these predators, right? Yeah. We want to buy your house. Sell us your house. And if people want to sell, then that's fine. Yeah. Not a problem with that, especially if they're offering 10 times what you paid for it. Yeah. We don't want to withhold that from anybody. But our hope is that we can promote homeownership education, down payment assistance, and then we have small grants to help people with closing costs. We want to put our arms around new buyers so they're not priced out of the market. Right. And provide some economic support to them, and then encourage the nonprofit developers to keep prices where people can afford them, for people that live there, love that community, work there,
Yes.
worship there.
Yeah.
They should be allowed, given the opportunity
Yeah.
to live there as well.
To remain.
Yes,
Or
absolutely.
return in some cases.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, there's a lot of families and individuals who live elsewhere in the city.
Absolutely. They want to
Wanting
live
to
there.
return.
I would buy in Southwest Fresno if the product was right and
Yeah.
priced right. I would love to. I'd be a good neighbor.
Yeah,
Me too. Yeah, there you go.
I love it. I love it.
yeah.
I hear a lot of what you're saying, which I want to return to. Number two was really centered around readiness.
Yes.
And how a lot of times our communities of color, black, brown, others, are a lot of times not prepared.
Yes.
So can you talk about how the Southwest Fresno Development Corporation is preparing and what's coming up?
Yep.
You have something coming up?
We
Let's
do,
talk
we
a
do,
little
we
bit
do.
about that.
Very excited.
Yes.
So with regard to preparedness, we have an 8-hour HUD certified class that we're offering to
Okay.
families, and that is all about homeownership readiness, homeownership preparedness. The first few classes are just on financial literacy, right? How much money's coming in your household? How much is going out? If you don't know how much you can save, if you don't know how much you have, you don't know how much you can save. So we
Okay.
really try to get people to look at that household budget and then talk to them about their credit, how they can acquire a loan. So a lot of just deep, deep education at the level that people can understand, right? We bring it way down. We've got multi-generational renters. Their parents are renters, their grandparents have been renters. So it's a big mindset shift for people to think about buying a home, which is one of the largest purchases that they'll ever make. So we take folks through that. We had 87 people sign up for that. We had about 20 people complete the class. So, folks
Yeah.
came in and went out, but that's okay because we're going to keep offering the classes.
Okay.
But because we can't reach everybody in a class, we're hosting our first homeownership conference. First
love
annual. April 29th at Westside Church,
Awesome.
10 a.m., 1424 West California Avenue.
Indeed. So what can people expect once they
Yes.
arrive there? What can we expect to encounter?
We're going to encounter lots of expertise, right? We've got the
Awesome.
lenders who are there helping people understand they can get down payment assistance. This is what it's going to take for you to qualify for a loan. There will be credit specialists talking to you about how to fix your credit, how to get that score up so that you can get a better rate on your loan.
Okay.
There will be realtors, people that look like us, right?
Oh,
Black,
okay.
brown, Asian. There will be everybody is welcome, but we wanted to make sure we had people of color that were there as well. And then we also just, for people who've never thought about buying a house, we have something called Homeownership 101. These are
Okay.
the 13 steps for buying a house. And these are the things you need to think about. So when you talk about readiness.
Yes,
And then we have a
yes.
ton of sponsors: Fresno Housing Authority, U.S. Bank, Tri-Counties Bank, Union Bank. Well, now they're a U.S. Bank. We've got Pacific Western Bank. We've got the City of Fresno. So we've probably got about 14 different sponsors that are coming. So people can just come and get
Wow.
information.
Okay.
Even if you're not ready now, you might be ready in a few years. Or your kids might be ready in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
But come get the information. Come talk to us. Come talk to me. I'll be there. And come and learn about the process. We want to demystify homeownership and let people understand really what it entails, how to get ready for it, and not just how to buy your home, but we want you to keep it.
Right.
We want you to be able to keep it.
Indeed.
It's a big piece.
Indeed.
Big piece.
I appreciate what I'm hearing here in providing a platform for people to come. Now, let me ask you. This is a free conference.
Yes, it
or
is.
This okay?
Free conference.
Free conference.
Yes.
And how can people register? Where do they go?
Please go to our website, www.swfresnodc.com. And there will be a link or a tab at the top that is new events, and it will be right there. They can register. It's no cost. Please come. I want everybody to come and just learn. We're gonna have a great breakfast. We're gonna have a great lunch, and you're gonna meet some wonderful people who want to help you on your journey.
You had me at lunch. No, and furthermore, how can seriously though, how can potential partners
Yes.
and supporters connect with you at the Southwest Fresno Development
They
Corporation?
can email me, info@swfresnodc.com. Happy to talk to anyone. If you want to be a vendor,
Yes.
you can just come as a vendor. You can come as a sponsor. You can come and attend. You can volunteer if you like. So, and just come to learn. Come meet me. Leave me your business card. And as opportunities come across our plate, and as we do more and more in the community, we will reach out to you.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I greatly appreciate your time today. To all of you viewers and listeners out there, this has been another episode, actually the first episode of the Central Valley Exchange, here with Allysun Walker, CEO of the Southwest Fresno Development Corporation, talking about the renewal and renaissance happening in Southwest Fresno. So much more to come. Be sure to connect with her. Go to the Southwest Fresno Development Corporation website. That's www.swfresnodc.com. And be sure to register for the April 29th Home Buyers Conference happening here in Fresno. I am so honored to have shared this time and this space, this season with you. I am your host, Tiffany Binion-Mangum here. Thank you so much to Ms. Walker. Thank you to all of you. Until next time, stay encouraged.